godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun Diary na ibi #1.
ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun Diary na ibi #1.
àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tójódòdò.
Maiyegun Diary na ibi #1.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọba bá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Maiyegun live. Thank you so much for joining me. And brethren, as usual, read the caption of this broadcast and read beyond the caption of the broadcast. Read the description of the broadcast. Like it. Share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends and tell them that Maiyegun today. And thank you if you have done that already. Tonight, we are taking a trip to the happenings or to Edo State, where a lot has been happening. I don't know if some of you have been following that, but tonight I'm bringing to you, every one of us here, the shameless, unlawful, scandalous happenings in Edo State. Or you know, Nigeria is a lawless place, as we kind of love to remind ourselves. Some of their actions and inactions usually doesn't really kind of like, jot a lot of people. In fact, when things are done legally or rightly in the contraption, some of us believe that they are likely done by error, by mistake, and they do not take time to correct their mistake, because a lawless place where anything is done lawfully is always like going to look like an error or misnomer. Nigeria is a place where abnormalities seems normal to the people there. After rigging APC Ekbe into the government house in Edo State, the APC Ekbe thugs have been moving mad in that state. The drivers, the commercial drivers in the states have not been spared. The first move was to remove all the local government chairmen, even though it's on record that they were elected or selected. No, elected, kind of. But we know that that election itself is, what it was. So the Edo State, 18 local government areas of Edo State are being controlled by PDP. And immediately the Obaseki and his gang lost power. It was time for Oshiomole and his stooge, Okpe-odoyo, the governor of Edo, to replace them, but they haven't figured out how. So the first thing was to suspend them by declaring them illegal, because they won't, according to him, they won't be loyal to the APC. So they sent thugs to take over the local government areas, thugs who were wielding canes to beat up any local government chairman that showed up. So a court said that was illegal, that was wrong. So they were returned back. Only for Okpe-odoyo and his gang to now initiate an impeachment. Papa, I have never seen anything like that before in my life. You know what they did? In a one fall swoop, they impeached all the 18 local government chairmen. Usually, it is always said the councillors that will impeach local government chairman. And I have never seen a situation whereby this local government, 18 local governments at a time, got impeached in a one fell swoop until this happened days ago in Edo State. So the drama has been going on for the past 6 or so days, but it's just somehow the media has been looking away from that. So tonight we shall go to Edo State, where Okpe-odoyo has now appointed his own caretaker chairman for the local government areas of Edo State. These are now the APC, Egbekegbe Loyal Chairmen. With their Supreme Court ruling, it is illegal to have caretaker chairmen in the local government areas in any part of Nigeria. That is why majority of them have been doing everything possible, okay, to have an election, even if it's going to be a selection, so that they will be able to have access to their local government money. But what they have done in Edo State is complete illegality, a charade. But it is Nigeria, where, as usual, illegal things are always kind of legal. Abnormal things are always normal to them. But the media has not been paying attention somehow. In my own opinion, except few interviews we grabbed on Arise, where someone was talking about it, and then what's going on afterward. Okpe-odoyo has now appointed his own caretaker chairman. He has sworn them in, and he has ordered them to take over the local government areas for him. While the elected local government chairmen of 18 local government areas were impeached the same day by no other than APC thugs. The local government councillors are not even in session as we speak. They claim to be in recess, where they are expected to be back by the 20th of January. Today is the 8th of January. Guess what? The same councillors have now been reported to have removed all the local government chairmen in the 18 local government areas of Edo State. An illegality that they believe they can always get away with. Somebody has something to say on that. Let's start with this tonight. Here.
It is after that resolution by the House of Assembly that all hell have been let loose in Edo State. And we need to draw the attention of Nigerians to this. That you cannot dissolve the local government councils, because they were elected by people, by Edo citizens. You cannot. The Supreme Court has said so. The Attorney General of the Federation has said so. The Chief Judge of Edo State has said so. Even after the suspension, the council chairman went back to the court. And a judge in Edo State, High Court 2, Honorable Justice F.A. Ipomba, set aside the suspension, the illegal suspension done by the House of Assembly. You would have thought that everybody that has some level of conscience, of sense in him, will stop at that. But no, even after the High Court judge has given his judgment, in fact, that was when the whole thing now snowballed into what we are now witnessing in Edo State, where one councillor, two councillors, led by the police and the DSS, will go into a council hall and say they have impeached a local government, an elected local government chairman. I've never seen such a thing before in my life.
Well, despite...
As if Section 19 of the 2000 Edo State Local Government Law stipulates exactly how a local government council chairman and his vice can be impeached. It's a process. It's just like impeaching the governor of a state. You cannot do it within 1 hour. It's impossible. It's unlawful. It's unconstitutional. It's a process. You have to have 2/3 signing into a petition that the chairman and the vice have committed, in the opinion of the petitioner, gross misconduct. 2/3 members of the councillors must sign that petition, taken to the leader of the house. A panel needs to be set up. It's a process, just as I said, just like impeaching the governor of a state or the president of the country. So, for us as a party, we think that there has never been any impeachment in this state. All the council chairmen that we elected and their vice, as far as we are concerned, they are still on their seats. We have directed that they should go back to their offices. Nobody has impeached them. We are taking remedies. We're going to charge some people for contempt to court. Because we cannot allow this, we cannot allow this blazing act of illegality to happen in our dear state. So we just think that the Nigerians should be aware of what is happening in Edo State. We think that what is happening, all the fingers point to the governor of the state, Monday Okpe-odoyo, who has decided to disregard court judgments, to disrespect court judgment, to think that he can just wake up one morning and say, I want this to happen, and it will happen. And we are telling him it will never happen in Edo State.
Well, it has happened. So like he said, initially, they used the status of assembly to suspend local government chairmen, elected government, local government chairmen, which in itself, right, is illegal. The status of assembly has no control over the local government, talk less of them suspending the local government's administration. They have no such power, but they did suspend them. And that was the beginning of the invasion of all these local government areas by the APC thugs. So when that didn't work, like he also said, they got a few of these councillors who were supposed to be on recess. They got them back from, in different parts of the states to go in and announce the impeachment of the local government chairman and their vice. And after that, the next stage was to appoint replacements. The replacements they did as well with the support of the status of assembly. So they were quickly confirmed and sworn in a few days back. And yep, they went on to take over the local government areas as the new acting local government chairman. In all of this illegality, right? The confidence of the APC, including the Okpe-odoyo, the Bolo governor of Edo, right? They're illiterate too. It's like a mission accomplished. So if you are not comfortable with this decision, just go to court. But they didn't stop there. They started going after the supposed councillors whose power were usurped by the order of the governor, okay? So they said, majority of us, we're not part of this impeachment. How can you, now hang on, if we impeach the chairman, right? And we impeached the vice chairman, normally, the speaker, which is the speaker for the councillors, should be appointed as the chairman of these local government areas, not like you have to. So what is really going on? Are we dissolved? Like, have you dissolved the local government administration? Because caretaker committee that you put in place do not have councillors. So does that mean that the councillors impeached themselves too? Or what is really going on? some of them are out in adding their voice. So I have a bit of, a short clip of one of those purported impeachments in this collection of videos of the supposed councillors as well, lamenting that they have no idea what's going on. They are crying out, by the way, just for the record here.
As the new leader of the legislative arm.
Listen, to that first video, the person that wore wig as a speaker of leader, rather, they use leader of the local government council, the leader of the councillors, all right? He's a thug, he's not a councillor of anywhere, right? But he had to go and dress up like a lawyer with wig, all right? And he sat there. Everyone in that room are not like councillors. They are not elected member of any council. But yeah, as the thugs did carry out the impeachment, it was actually thugs, unelected thugs, that carried out impeachment of elected council officials. Watch this.
As the new leader of the legislative arm, having gotten the majority votes of the House, Dr. Eric Iyobosayende and Honorable Mrs. Osamuyi Dehe is hereby impeached as chairman and vice chairman of the local government council.
The good people of Edo State, Nigerians, the Oba of Benin, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Tinubu, Edo State Governor, Inspector General of Police, please come to my rescue. This morning, I went to my office to go and deliver chair for somebody who paid for chair yesterday. As I got there, this morning I was bringing it out. Healers packed, 2 healers with thugs, policemen, and civil defense. They came after me, dragging me. They want to bundle me into the vehicle. They asked for my key. I gave them my key. When I gave them my key, they allowed me. They rushed into my shop. Then I have to quickly run through the other side of the road, and I escaped. I was surprised that they said they came this morning to come and bundle me to Oredo Local Government Council to go and impeach the chairman and the vice chairman. And I'm surprised as it got into this level. I have made it clear that I am not that kind of person. I am a man of integrity. As a human rights activist, as somebody who have worked in the NGO all my life, as somebody who have my private business a second address, I cannot mortgage my integrity for this kind of thing. I am not a conventional politician. They should leave me alone. They made all my vehicles, the properties inside the car, my books, the money they took, and they lock up my shops. So I am appealing to the Oba of Benin, the president, the governor, and all well-meaning Nigeria, all human rights activists, please, this is the time for you to come out and defend democracy. The president went to court to fight for the autonomy of local government, and the court granted since July 17. I am surprised that the same APC governor who is under the president is now promoting this kind of illegality, and the president is not speaking. Do we really mean well for this country? For us, we mean well for this country. We see how people that have integrity that can check.
Honorable Jima Abdul-Ganiyu, councillor representing the good people of Oduan and the deputy leader of Isako West local legislative arm. I'm here to support the press statement made by my able leader, Honorable Abdul Yama, that I will not support the impeachment of our executive chairman, Honorable Marvelous Muizu, and Honorable Benji Ojeto. Thank you.
My name is Honorable Farouk Sule Muhammad. I'm from Ward 6, Jagbe. The majority leader is Isako West. I'm in line with the press release by the leader.
My name is Honorable Kudamo Maiyegun, Chief Isako West, Councillor representing Ward 11. I'm in line with the press release of the leader of Isako West legislative arm. I will not make myself available as a tool to use of impeachment.
Honorable Bonaventure Oloko, the councillor representing Ward 10. I'm supporting my leader for the press release that I will not be used as a tool to impeach my chairman, rather the vice chairman.
I am Honorable Councillor Ward 3 and concur with the press release of my leader of the House that I am not able to make myself available as a tool to impeach my executive chairman and his vice.
My name is Honorable Jimo Ismail, Councillor representing 4 East and West Local Government. I want the press release of my leader. I will not be available to impeach my local government chairman and his vice. Thank you.
Greetings, my people of Ward 7 and the entire East and West Local Government residents. I am Nurudi Momodu, Honorable, representing Ward 7 East and West. I attend with the press release as read by the legislative arm, the leader of the legislative arm, and I will not make myself available as tool for anybody to use to impeach the executive chairman of West West and his vice. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Iharo Abdulakin, the council representing good people of Ward 2. I'm here in support of my leader for the press release. I will not be there to the impeachment of the chairman and vice chairman. Thank you.
Good evening, my able colleague. I'm Honorable Obi Henry, the councillor representing the good people of Ward 8. I'm 100% in line with the press release of my leader. So I will not make myself available for the people to use as a tool to impeach the executive chairman and his vice. Thank you.
Good evening, the good people of Isako West. I remain my humble self, Honorable Karim Ismaila, the Deputy Chief Whip of Isako West local government. I promise myself not to be used as tools to impeach the duly elected executive chairman of Isako West and his vice. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Honorable Frank Asimu, the councillor representing the good people of Ward 12. So I'm here in support of the press release of the leader, which is Abdul Iyama, that I'm not in support to impeach the duly elected chairman, Honorable Moise Zibiri and Benjamin Ojitu, the vice.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending the time you are watching this video. Yes, as we speak now, Isako West Legislative Arm, we're on recess. There is no sitting today. We have not sitting today, tomorrow, next tomorrow, no sitting till 20th of January. Thank you.
So that is their own little way of pushing back. But to Okpe-odoyo, Okpe-obolo, the Odoyo governor of Edo, the deed is done. All of these, they are just like medicine after death. One of his newly sworn in acting chairman took office, and he had this to say.
That's the chair.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Chairman, Mr. Chairman. So I want to welcome you to Oyo local government, Headquarters Abuja here. I want to sincerely appreciate you all for your support towards this struggle. And first of all, I want to thank the councillors of Oyo local government for making it possible. I appreciate all the police officers and all the floor members. I believe that the struggle is not for one man. It's a collective effort. That's why it's possible today. I want to assure the people of Oyo that I'll not let them down. And also assure the people of Edo State I'll make them proud. My office is open for everybody. I'm a very accessible human being. You all know that before now. So whenever I have any issue, my door is open. I will be in the office 24/7 Monday to Friday. Here is the headquarters. I will carry on my duty in Orion, not in Ipoboha already, or here. So thank you all. Lastly, I hereby dissolve all the cabinets of the from supervisor to the local government secretary, and also the essay to local government chairman. They are all hereby dissolved.
All appropriate.
All the cabinets of the former chairman is hereby dissolved. Yes.
You know, so you can tell that it's pretty much like thugs, political thugs have been appointed to take over the local government areas. Most of them are not really kind of like prepped or prepared. But now that they have to act the scripts, so the guy was there to say, I am now the chairman, I'm accessible, everybody can come to me right now, you all know that, so yeah. And also, I have dissolved all the cabinet, I've dissolved all the... Exactly. Lunatics have taken over the asylum. That is what you are dealing with as we speak. How about the Okpe-odoyo himself? What did he say to this when he was swearing for these guys to go and take over the local government areas? This.
I saw environmental security funding, and the amount involved is huge, 800 million. Every month, this chairman contributes this money to give a leader of one particular party. I felt it is wrong, but I want to thank you because you have changed the narrative. What you have done is not out of contest. It's not out of the law. Impeaching somebody who is corrupt, who has used the local funds for personal gain, sending him away is not wrong. I recognize you as my chairman. So I am ready to work with you people. I am ready to see that you progress and local government progress.
The spokespersons for the chairmen across the 3 districts reiterated their loyalty to the new administration.
You are the only governor whom I've seen who wants the people at the grassroots not to suffer.
So the agenda being pushed is that every month, 800 million naira was given to these local government areas. And they can't account for it. 800 million naira. According to him, he said 800 million naira for environmental sanitation. I'm like, oh, those states must be so rich. For your local government areas to have access to 800 million naira, you know, for environmental sanitation. And because they can't account for it, that's why they have been removed. And that's it. Normally, you see, impeachment is a very long process, okay? So the first thing you have to do is you will write out the summon, or you write out the list of the reasons why you want to impeach someone. And then you will give them the chance to defend themselves, okay? So in their defense, if you are not satisfied, if the councillors are not satisfied, then they will now move a motion for impeachment. Or in this case, that's not how it happened. But we all shall know why this whole thing is playing out, okay? They need to get rid of these guys so that their own loyalists can take over the council, take over the local government areas. You understand? So, or else it will be difficult for them to control the supposed grassroots where the real politics is. And they have a lot of their supporters who have put in a lot, you know, the violence and the rest of that over the time that Obaseki chased all of them away. So they have been in the trenches for so long. They needed to be compensated ASAP. It's only the people that will actually suffer it. Here is one of the kicked out chairmen, I think. He had this to say.
Well, concerning the impeachment you talked about, I just told you now that I was somewhere, and as we speak, the councillors are on recess to resume work on the 20th of this month. It's a normal thing. It's a normal thing that councillors go on recess and then resume at a particular time. So as we speak, they are on recess. The question of whether he passed through due process does not go arise. Councillors who were not on grant, who traveled out of the local government for recess, how can they go and carry out that kind of purported impeachment? And like I told you, I have two videos which I forwarded earlier. One for the purported impeachment. The characters there were not even councillors. Those who even claim to be majority leader, the other one the speaker, and the third person are not even elected councillor, whether from a local government or from another local government. They are characters that were imported elsewhere to come and perpetrate such illegality. While that one was going on, we were informed, and the councillors where they were, they put themselves together, you know, and then they did a video. I have two videos in my possession, one for that purported illegal impeachment, and then the other one where the councillors did, all the 12 councillors that I have in my local government, they did video, you know, countering that the illegality that was perpetrated that yesterday. Concerning the 12 billion, you just asked me, I don't think, I won't be able to answer that question. I don't know where 12 billion will come from. 12 billion from where? From the council purse, or from where? How did the 12 billion? I'm sure you know what 12 billion means. Not even 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion.
No, he said it was 18 of you that did it. So you shared it. So he said it was 18 of you that did it. So that you shared it in your, okay, you can only speak for yourself. Did you remit any funds to the leaders of the PDP?
Yeah, if I participate in the sharing of 12 billion as a council chairman, I don't think I'll be where I am now. If I participate in the sharing of 12 billion as a council chairman, okay, I will never be where I am as I speak to you.
Marvelous.
So let me speak for myself. That the fact that I don't know anything about it, it does not mean I should now speak generally. No, I am not the AGO chairman. Neither am I even the vice chairman or whatever. Even if I'm the AGO chairman,
okay,
AGO chairman, chairman, you speak to yourself. You can't speak on behalf of my council.
No problem.
So it's not even 800 million. It's actually 12 billion. That is what Okpe-odoyo or Okpe-odoyo, the Dodoyo governor of Edo, accused them of spending. He said they gave the money, 12 billion naira, right? They gave the money to a PDP leader in Edo State. The local governments don't even have access to such money. But they shall have to push something anyway. So yeah, that is why they all got impeached same day. 18 local government chairmen and their vice. It is the APC, a best kind of democracy. And if you are not okay with that, then go to court. That's their modus operandi. Go to court. Yesterday, Peter Obi and the Obedient were reacting to the threats that came from APC, Okpe-odoyo's spokesperson, Felix Morka. Felix Morka, who was visibly angry, said Peter Obi for criticizing Tifnumbu and calling on Tifnumbu, right, to actually stay in Nigeria, visit the state, meet the people he is governing, and feel their pulse on the economic hardship he has unleashed on them. Said Peter Obi had passed or crossed the line, that he has crossed the line many times. A direct threat to Obi that the Obedient were not taken lightly. Well, today, Felix Morka returned back to their rise. This time around, presented himself as a victim. He said he has received threats from the Obedient. He said in the last 48 hours, he has received over 400 threats to his life from the Obedient. He denied threatening Obi that whatever comes the way, or Obi should expect whatever is coming for him, because he has crossed the lines many times. You see, one thing about APC, Ebekebe, as I have pointed out many times, is that when you try to call them out, they don't really address the point you are raising. They will come for you. They will attack your personality because their own is to try and say, oh, look at this person criticizing us, saying that we have failed. Meanwhile, is this, is that, smear you, mudsling and all of that stuff to destroy your character so that everyone who is, and that is practically the modus operandi of the Ronukus as well. If you ask them to answer questions on their failed policies, they will attack you, attack your personality, and begin to deflect the conversation to the irrelevant, to nonsense, until they watered it down and they will still never, ever answer the direct questions that you are posing to them. So Morka came back and denied threatening Obi. He said, no, I didn't threaten him. I only reacted. I didn't. So he denied. Then he turned around to make himself a victim. He said he is now calling on the security agents to protect him because the obedient have started digging out information about himself. They are beginning to dox him, which means they are now sharing information about his family. If anything happens to Peter Obi, himself, Felix Morka, and his own family, they too are not safe. Something that, Reuben Apathy took a chance to call the obedient headless mob. They call them mob. I'll come back to that one. So the first part, this is the most interesting part, by the way, the way the anchors presented the question to him when he ran back to them to try to raise alarm that his own life is in danger for threatening Peter Obi.
And that's my point. Right. So you said that you're challenging facts or the misrepresentation of facts.
Correct.
Is in essence, that's your duty. However...
Oh, hang on. I think we should hear the first part where he denies. Then we'll come back to that particular one where he started to double down.
I, Felix Morka, did not threaten Peter Obi. Nothing I said in that interview begins to even suggest remotely that, Peter Obi, I was asking anything other than saying to the man who was asking me a question, he said, you guys are calling him prophet of doom or, voodoo economist. And I said, well, you know what, if that is what it's called, he has, he deserves it because he's crossed the line of truth. Now, I don't know by what medium or by what, effort do you then transmogrify that conversation into a threat to Obi's life and the life of his family or those around him. That is libel in the extreme.
I know Mr. Obi likes to quote figures from Bangladesh, from India, from China, but that's not what we're talking about. Let's move to the second leg of it. Has anybody threatened you? Because your own party is saying you have been threatened. And who are those people who have threatened you? How?
Actually,
because you are alleging.
Absolutely.
You should also prove.
As it turns out, Peter Obi's allegation that the words I spoke in that interview threatened his life. Now, immediately, as I speak, I have documented no less than 400 threats, about over 200 of which are death threats. I'm not talking about people these are written texts that I have carefully documented and which, I'm providing to the law enforcement agencies, or people really telling me graphically describing how they intend to take me out. To shoot me, behead me in graphic language. You see, this is not a joke. And it's gone further to some members of my family who have also been, threatened directly. I'm not speaking about just, suggesting in graphic, language. You see, but, I'm not concerned about that because, what has triggered this entire insanity cannot be attributed to me. I did not threaten Peter Obi. And so anybody who is threatening me, that is their decision to do so. But, I hope that our law enforcement system will respond as effectively as possible to also, bring
nuisance lele.
So do you see how he started making himself a victim? It is an APC, a Ekbe thing. They will accuse you of what they are doing. Yeah. And they will run to the market to amplify same. Did you hear a party there? That Obi likes to quote figures from Bangladesh, from India. Oh, you will hear more from what he had to say too. Well, here is where they pressed Morka. That it is you guys' modus operandi. Anybody who speaks out, like the whole country is feeling the heat. They are feeling your, what do you call it? They are feeling your misgovernance. You have destroyed Nigeria. Starting from Bokwari to Tifnumbu, you've destroyed this contraption beyond any repair. Or whoever speaks up or asks questions, you will leave all they are asking, all they are saying. You begin to attack them, attack their personalities. You begin to threaten them. Because to you, anyone who criticizes Tifnumbu is inciting the people against you. Like the job of the opposition is to oppose you. Their job is to expose your failures. How can you then turn around and begin to attack them in such a way that you are threatening them, warning them? Here is that part.
And that's my point.
Right. So you said that you're challenging facts or the misrepresentation of facts.
Correct.
Is in essence, that's your duty. However, what we saw was an attack on a person, not an attack on facts. And this is the issue. So for you to exonerate yourself and say, I didn't start this, when Peter Obi's New Year's address very clearly addressed the issues, but yes, you say you were responding to a question. However, you're trained in this field and you could have turned your response into an address of the facts. My question to you is, why are we seeing this culture of toxic rhetoric from the spokespeople of this administration, not just from yourself, there's several of you who, who speak on behalf of this administration. Last time it was Olusegun Obasanjo who was told that, oh, he's not even a worthy statesman to make this kind of statement on another issue. Another opportunity, it's Atiku Abubakar. Who is he to say all of this? He doesn't know what he's talking about. Why is there a culture of attacking the messenger as opposed to just dealing with the data?
No, I think you're getting this slightly wrong, if I must say. Now, if you read my statement, the Buhari administration came on top of nearly 2 decades of governance by the then ruling party.
It's 2 decades as well now.
Two decades.
1 decade now, going to 1 decade of administration.
Yeah. So the Buhari administration was a corrective government. And correct it did, as it did.
By plunging Nigerians into poverty?
No. Now, are you suggesting that Nigeria had no poverty? There was no poverty in this country?
You said more people
before,
got...
No.
Because we have to deal with facts here. No, we have to deal with facts here, Mr. Morka. The facts are out there.
No, hang on.
More Nigerians were plunged into poverty under the APC administration.
Okay, can I ask you a simple question? Do you have the data of the Nigerians who lived in multidimensional poverty as of 2015?
Under the Jonathan administration, how many was less than 70%. Under the Buhari...
70%?
Yes, less.
That's 70% of Nigerian population?
Yes. Under the Buhari administration, it was over 70%, and at some point, Nigeria was actually ranking high as the poverty capital of the world. So I think that's just fact out there. I'm not saying that in terms of what you said.
But you see what you say. If you take the 10-year parameter you just mentioned,
yes.
So take it that in 10 years of the 10 years of the PB administration before 2015,
yes,
that Nigeria did not move anywhere. Because if, as of 2015, no. You see, you think about what I'm saying, please.
Okay.
Think about what I'm saying. If we, let's say, for the sake of this conversation, we're not economists, right? So let's say that 10 years is that period where we say whatever, the gestation period for transformation of that, data takes 10 years. It means that if 70% of Nigerians were living in multi-dimensional poverty as of 2015, it means that 10 years prior...
Yes, it was your administration that plunged more Nigerians into poverty.
Yeah, let's say 69%. living in multi-dimensional poverty as of 2015. What I'm saying is that nearly 20 years of the PDP did not radically, that's 2 frames of data era, did not radically help this country reduce poverty. Now, the next 10 years that you're referring to, that people like to refer to, of the Buhari administration, now, and that's...
They don't like data. They don't like anything factual. They love to pull data from the thin air. And if you take them up on it, right, it's just that this Morka guy is pretty much like a thug, a miscreant that got the position of Layamo after Layamo was promoted to become a information or misinformation minister. So it was these questions and then, probing and their efforts in trying to use propaganda to cover up facts that triggered this madman in threatening Obi, and almost everyone just spoke out. If you say anything and you try to present to them the real data, and here is something, it wasn't even like a less than 70%. From the record, it was less than 40% Nigerians that were living in multi-dimensional poverty as at 2015. The number was 54 million. Yeah, give or take, 54 million. By the time that Buhari was done in 2023, over 80 million Nigerians were living in abject multi-dimensional poverty. And the evidence was there. Between 2023 and the end of 2024, today, more than 80% Nigerians have been delved deeper into abject poverty. Inflation is at its worst as we speak. Food inflation, normal inflation, the whole thing is like at the worst stage as we speak. Never before. Because, the numbers don't lie. Take a look at this. Before these rogues, the Nigerian foreign debt was put at $13.5 billion. The Nigerian exchange rate before these criminals was 149 naira to a dollar. The Nigerian refineries were actually working at over 55%. The same refinery that died under Buhari, the one they spent over 4 trillion naira reviving. And today, they told you that their refinery is working, but the refinery doesn't produce PMS. The refinery doesn't refine PMS. It is only diesel and kerosene, while they will spend more in importing PMS to Nigeria. Using propaganda to cover all this up. But today, before these guys, inflation in Nigeria was a single figure. Inflation in Nigeria was somewhere around the 7% in 2015. Fast forward to 2025, inflation in Nigeria today is 36%. Food inflation is over 50%. Now, this is just the conservative, conservative figure, where you can say averagely. They have destroyed that contraption, but they still feel like did you hear him? He said Buhari's regime was a corrective one. Today, Nigeria's foreign debt is over $140 billion from 13.5 billion. Ask them, where is the money? What did they use the money for? The loan? Where is the money? What did they use it for? They will attack you. They will tell you that you are blind. Can't you see? Nigeria was generating over 9,000 megawatts of electricity before these criminals. Today, Nigeria is barely struggling to generate 5,000 megawatt electricity. So where is the money? So when you try to take them up on it, they become triggered. They become raging. They will tell you that there are poor people all over the world. Nigeria is not the only place where people are poor. Nigerians were never rich. We've always been poor. Blah, 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 blah. And they are like, when you are living in your own echo chamber, it is more or less like, if you can't feel that the Nigeria is progressing, it is because you don't like them. All right? It's because you don't like us. Here is another part of that conversation where our party, as usual, couldn't hide his own stupidity.
You said Mr. Peter Obi is sponsoring a mob of reckless people who are defaming people, attacking people, bullying people, threatening people on social media and everywhere. A headless mob of bullies. Are you referring to the obedience? And I would like you to comment further on that characterization of this mob that you say Peter Obi is sponsoring, and how that mob poses a threat to the administration and to society.
Yes, I have been threatened by those who, even in the messages, profess loyalty to Peter Obi, who has said to me directly that, this, what you've said, we believe constitutes a threat to Peter Obi's life. Even when I put out information initially, before my statement yesterday, on the APC handle, providing the verbatim translation or transcription of what I said, I put that out and with a clip, relevant clip, so that you can listen and read. That has not persuaded them to get, an enlightened perspective of that conversation. Now, yes, these are people who profess loyalty to Peter Obi. Now, if I have followers who go around threatening, Felix, Morka, or anyone else for that matter, I would, call them to order and say, look, hey, this is not necessary. I will, speak, even when I feel like this individual has said something I don't appreciate. I would still say to them, do not do this. But, so far, Peter Obi was quick to, claim that my words threatened his life and that of his family falsely, according to me. However, up until now, even though I have said publicly that these followers of his are threatening my life and that of my family, I have not seen anything by way of a reprimand or a call for, for stay.
It will not be too much for you to expect that Peter Obi can talk to a movement over which he has no control. They seem to have a mind of their own.
There is something that's on the side. If you have been a very good observer of the happenings in that contraption, the real headless mob, the real mob, violent mob in Nigeria today are the APC sewage dwellers. They have been the ones who have not only that they have threatened people, they've actually carried out their threats. It's only APC, Ekbe, that said that people could not vote or should never be allowed to vote because they were Igbos or they were obedient. It is only the APC sewage dwellers who have physically attacked people on behalf of APC. It is only the APC sewage dwellers who have actually threatened people to leave Yoruba land because they won't support Etifnumbu. The obedient are called online bullies simply because there are so many, enough that if you say anything about Obi, they are there to counter you enough that you can't shut them down. But there's never been any incident where they will say the obedient threaten anyone or physically attacked anyone, like you have that of the Ronukus, the Ronu Nazis, the tribal bigots, the ethnic jingoists, especially the Lagos Abobakus. But it is easier for everyone outside that fold who is so afraid of disobedience and their group, right, to call them bullies. I haven't seen anywhere, there's no record anywhere that obedient to they attacked anybody or threatened anyone. There's no record of that. The people are so afraid. I'm talking about these Ronukus and their senior colleagues. They are so afraid of disobedience that they can only imagine what they will do if they were to carry out, or if they have to have the same tendencies like this Ronukus, the Ronu Nazis, who are spreading hatred most of the time, hateful, threatening messages, left, right, and center. I mean, if you have seen anyone, please tell me, have you ever seen where the obedient attacked anybody? Offline. Have you seen any? Have you seen anywhere the obedient threaten anyone that will kill you, will do this to you? And then they go about, they went on to, like, you know, to attack anybody physically. Have you seen any? But I have seen where those who are associated with APC, violently attacked people that they considered their enemies politically. I mean, we just talked about Edo State right now. That is their modus operandi. They will physically unleash terror on you, then turn around and begin to act like they are the victims. They will threaten you that, you see, I mean, they are still doing it anyway. They are still doing it. That 2027, you will see what we do to you. You will see what we will do to you. The obedient are pretty much like, yeah, they are online. They have this huge online presence. But you can't say people who are trolling you online, the people who are like attacking you online, you can now compare them to those who are physically attacking people, threatening people because of their ethnic, their tribe, their religion. And I mean, I have seen the attack on those who are like non-Muslims in northern part of Nigeria because they won't vote for Muslim tickets because of this APC. But it is so easy that then they will now push, they will now say Peter Obi can't control the obedient. They want Peter Obi to come out and tell the obedient to slow down. Please don't criticize them again. Please don't say anything again. But nobody has ever called on Tifnumbu to come and address the Ronukus that are threatening people because of their tribe, because of their ethnic. Nobody has ever called on Tifnumbu. Even though there was a time that they managed to pressure this Obi, this was at the early stage, to pressure Obi. Every time they will be asking Obi to talk to the obedient. Please talk to this obedient. They are abusing everybody. They are criticizing everybody. They every small thing. Once they disagree with you, they will be abusing you. Abusing you online cannot be compared to those who are actually threatening and carrying out threat on people, attacking people, burning people's shops in defense of Tifnumbu. Nobody has ever said Tifnumbu should come out. You understand? Like Tifnumbu should come out and talk to his supporters. I have never seen that. Have you? So, and it's very true. Obi doesn't even control the obedient. Obi himself is not spared. Every time he kind of like misstep, the obedient always tear him. They will tear him into like, oh, now obedient will come, they talk to themselves and say, hey, everybody calm down. And you don't understand what Obi meant. What Obi is trying to say is that, let us calm down. No, they know they spare Obi himself. Because all they care about in their belief is that if Nigeria works, it is for everyone. Now everybody will benefit. So they claim that they want a working Nigeria. If Tifnumbu can make Nigeria work, yeah, they are fine. But you cannot be destroying the lives of these young people and then expect yourself to be kind of like barricaded and protected from them because of your party difference. It is their life that you are destroying. It is their future that you are mortgaging. So if you are still kind of out there jumping up and down and be claiming to be APC, PDP, obedient, this and you know what I mean? You are just as foolish as those who are enslaving you. So to disobedient, their own belief is that a working Nigeria is a better one for everybody. If it is not working, then everybody go collect. So if now Obi come out, they try to romance nonsense. They don't spare him. They don't. But you see, when these guys, whenever they touch, and also don't touch Obi, that is also the kind of the motto of the obedient. In all your madness, don't touch Peter Obi. Don't say any nonsense about him. We will come for you. All right? So that is theirs. And Obi himself also knows that there are some things he shouldn't. When Peter Obi went on to what do you call it, to see Ape Babanlaole, even obedient enter am. It was the obedient that are now explaining to other obedient that, hey, let's calm down. That's not what happened. Listen, let us. So who they heard is Felix Morka to be asking Peter Obi to come and talk to the Obi, to say what to them. They heard you loud and clear that Peter Obi should accept whatever is coming his way, simply because he spoke out about the mismanagement and misgovernance of that contraption. Then you started crying. You want him to talk to the obedient. You need to talk to them. Talk to them about what? Anyway, let's leave the obedient for now. Okay? Do you know that it's been, it's been how many months now? 20 months. Yeah, it's about 20 months that Tifnumbu hijacked power in Nigeria. All right? And the damages they have caused is so monumental that you are never going to recover from that in decades to come. No, because so, just give it time. Maybe you will come to that reality as well soon. Do you also know that it's not just those of you in that contraption that has been under this level of, illegitimate government and its absurdity? Yeah. Donald Trump is yet to take office. Do you know that he has already started appointing his own, what you can call the ministers and key, the key figures in his administration that is yet to come on, including ambassadors? It's been 20 months, almost 20 months now, that Tifnumbu hijacked power in Nigeria. And up till now, he is yet to actually appoint ambassadors who are supposed to be the ones to represent Nigeria in all this part of the world. So those of us in the diaspora, if we have any issue, we're supposed to actually be like, go to the ambassador, and the ambassador should be our, unfortunately, nobody they really matter per se, there are those who are waiting to be appointed ambassadors. But Tifnumbu seems not to be keen on that. So his own foreign minister had this to say that, yeah, he will do it whenever he wants to do it.
I'm not the one that is empowered to appoint ambassadors.
Of course
it's
not.
The president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Yes.
And he will do so when he deems fit. Now, it does not mean that our missions are not running or they're not operating. We have 109 missions consisting of embassies, full embassies, as well as consulates around the world. In all of these missions, you have diplomats, okay, of different ranks. So in certain places, you actually have ambassadors, people that have risen to the level of ambassadors that are running these places. Okay, it just means that they have not presented their letters of credence.
Right.
They are not accredited as ambassadors. And you also have other, because an embassy or mission is a microcosm of the Nigerian government. So you also have immigration officers, you have people from the defense section, and so on and so forth. So they continue to run these embassies.
Yes,
and don't forget that I was an ambassador in the previous government under the Buhari administration. I was posted out as ambassador in August of 2017. The government came into office on the 29th of May 2015. So this is still shorter.
Right.
Now we're talking, it's not even as long as it took to appoint ambassadors under the previous administration.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that we have to take that long, but I'm just putting it into context.
But can you see why? I mean, it's over a year. Can you see why some would say it sort of shows somewhat unserious government? Do you see why it's important to do that? I mean, you're not the president, but you're the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Well, I don't think it's entirely fair to describe it as, what did you say, unserious? I don't think that's fair. We have all sorts of challenges.
Right.
This administration has come in to face a countless number of challenges, multi-sectoral, in different sectors, because of you know, things that should have been done over the years, that including economic reform, that has accumulated. So you have to prioritize, and in prioritizing, perhaps Mr. President has deemed it fit to delay appointing ambassadors. You know, we're facing serious, it's not just us either, it's the entire planet that has faced serious financial and economic challenges due to COVID. It goes all the way back, in fact, to the 2008 global financial meltdown. So it's something that has carried over a long period. I'm not the one that is empowered to appoint ambassadors.
Of course
it's
not.
The President of the Federal Republic of...
Anyway, that wasn't all. Because this guy was also asked about this relationship with France, especially French forces in Nigeria, after being chased away from other West African countries where they have been for decades. France has mismanaged their relationship with countries like Niger, Chad, Burkina Faso, Mali, even Senegal, and even Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire, that they have ordered them to leave their regions, to leave their countries. But last December, or last November rather, Tinubu was in Paris, where Macron put up a spectacle in hosting the Droghi Kolu to a state visit, where Tinubu and his wife were feted and their entourage, including Wike, that followed him. Then afterward, Tinubu was able to sign a contract where some World War II fighter jets that France has possibly just abandoned somewhere were to be sold to Nigeria, 42 of them. And not just that. The same France signed an MOU with Dele Alakori, Tinubu, and Tony Elumelu and Co., where French businesses, or should we call them the French, I had a name in my head before now, you know, like the exploiters, the scavengers, the old colonialist third, French thirds, masquerading as businesses or what have you, are to have access to the Nigeria critical mineral resources. That was the MOU. The MOU was that French colonists are going to have access to critical mineral resources from northern part of Nigeria. And in return, France would give 300 million euro in the next 2 years to charities in Nigeria. A charity of choice. Tinubu will choose who and who should collect the money. It can tell them who to give the money to and what to give the money to, including art and culture. Organizing, you know, like concerts, paying for art display, something like that, that will be sponsored by France. 300 million euro in the next 2 years. But Tinubu and his gang continue to sort of play down. That arrangement is in contrast to what has been happening in the last 1.5 years in this West African region, where France, that has been exploiting these countries for years, for decades, has left them in penury, in poverty, and destabilization, where terrorists continue to pose a bigger threat to these countries. So since France couldn't protect them and couldn't really prosper them, they chased them away. And that is the France that Tinubu is now romancing. Something that the neighboring countries believe that France is on the verge of setting up a base in Nigeria so as to further destabilize their countries. Something the Tinubu and his regime continuing to deny. And according to this Tagger guy, this Yusuf Tagger, he said, Nigeria is a sovereign country. It's a sovereign country. It's an independent country. No country should tell us who to relate with or not, in his own words.
You know, for Nigeria as a whole, I think I have some locus to speak on behalf of Nigeria. It's insulting to Nigeria and Nigerians for anyone to look at Nigeria to say that they are in cahoots. After I finished describing all of these things to you, Operation Barkhane, G5 Sahel, were we the ones that were partnering with France on that? Were we the ones that passed a law, Law 2015-36?
So
were we the ones that were engaged, that partnered on this arrangement that criminalized migration, that securitized the Sahel region?
So
no.
one of the reasons why that question comes up again is because of the renewed
what I would like to see
and partnership
what I would like
with
to
France.
see what I would like to see is journalists like you and certain Nigerians that have been whipping up this position of a minority and certain people that spoke out in third countries to actually look at how they are allowed to actually even come out to speak, to criticize Nigeria or to make these spurious allegations. The country that they are trying to defend, the Niger, at the moment, the way things are, you cannot even come out to speak. You can't come, they're not operating on the constitution. The reason why we're able to do all of this is because we have the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which safeguards, which guarantees our rights to free speech, our rights to association, all these freedoms. So, I would like to see us speak for Nigeria, for a change,
so
instead
that's
of
why you're
always speaking for governments, regimes that do not even have a constitution to protect their people. Their own people cannot even come out to criticize the government.
That's
and
why
yet
you are here, Honorable Minister.
We keep on going on with this, attacks on our own government, on ourselves.
Honorable Minister, you are here to make clarifications.
Which
You're
is
a
what I'm
government
doing.
official. So you haven't answered the question.
Oh no, I have.
So this renewed partnership and friendship with France, what do you see as the implications?
We've always had a relationship with France. It did not start today. It did not start today, and there is nothing different about our relationship with France today. But it does not mean that other countries or other people have to dictate to Nigeria who it should have a relationship with.
Obviously, they don't have to.
I just finished describing to you the mess that was created in Libya. We cannot tackle the issue of insecurity in our region simply by a partnership or by being friends with the Sahelian countries. Even if you do that, you still have Libya to contend with. I just finished describing to you the weaponry that is being churned out of Libya, training, fighters, the terrorists, the criminal gangs, and so on and so forth. So to solve Libya, we need a relationship with France. We need a relationship with the United States of America. We need a relationship with Russia. We need a relationship with all of these major powers.
Okay,
that is how we can solve. So you cannot say that, oh no, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali have decided after all these years they no longer want to have anything to do with France. Therefore, Nigeria must be compelled. And meanwhile, Nigeria is the senior partner in the relationship to begin with. That then, because they have decided they don't want to have a relationship with France, therefore they must dictate to us and we must comply. We should no longer have any relationship with France. It's short-sighted, it is myopic, and it is not in Nigeria's national interest.
So those
which is something that President Tinubu, myself, and everybody in government or in public office from top to bottom has sworn to. to protect the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And
So-
that is enshrined in our Constitution. I just finished talking to you. I'm not saying that you cannot challenge Nigeria's Constitution. There's a way to go.
These are the madmen in charge of that contraption. These countries are not saying that Nigeria should not have relationship with France. This is the manipulation tactic, deflection that they will always use for the gullible idiots that listens to them. The countries are not saying you shouldn't. They are pointing out the double standard, the double-faced, the criminality of France, the culpability of France in fueling the instability that they have suffered. Until like 2 years ago, they didn't have much problem with France. It was like a manageable relationship. Nigeria doesn't need France to fight terrorism. What Nigeria needed is the regional collaboration, which somehow has been wrought with insincerity on these other countries too. Okay? France has been in the Sahel for more than 40 years. They have been there. They have overseen the installation of government and as well as the removal of government in that region for decades. France has been involved in the escalation, the increase in the act of terrorism in that axis for decades. The president of France has never reduced the act of terrorism in that axis for decades. So, using the deflection of Libya, you see, what Nigeria as the big brother usually was actually doing before the collaboration of this Nigerian, Niger, Chad, I think maybe a little bit of Mali too, when they collaborated with the Fulani terrorists that took over Nigeria, using the Boko Haram at first, which they used in chasing out Goodluck Ebere Jonathan. You see, Nigeria was giving money to these countries because to them, coming from the northern part of Africa like that, as you are coming, you are going from Libya, right? From Morocco down to Libya, from Libya to Agadez in Niger, right? All these countries that are coming down from that Sahel down, the terrorists have always been in the Sahel, the Janjaweed terrorists. They've always been existing within the area to prevent them from getting to Nigeria. Nigeria used to give money to these countries. Nigerian soldiers, Nigerian military used to go into joint patrol with these African countries in order to reduce their influx, the influx of the terrorists into Nigeria. But immediately APC, Ekbe, took over power in Nigeria, that relationship was severed. Yeah. And the free flow of these terrorists into Nigeria became a thing in the name, under the guise of these guys, of religion. And especially in Niger Republic, the reason why that former Bazoum guy was removed was because Nigerian soldiers, they were dying like flies. France, they said, whenever they have a chance of rattling the terrorists, they will discover that the weapons they are using, these are weapons from France. French weapons in the hands of the terrorists. This one is a documented fact. And in all of this, they said Bazoum was in a very close relationship with France. The soldiers felt like they were just being killed for nothing. Now, how could France, that is extracting mineral resources from their countries, at the same time be providing weapons for these terrorists that are killing them every time they had an encounter with this terrorist. And their own government, a supposed civilian government, is not doing anything about it. That was why the coup in Niger, the coup in Burkina Faso, the coup in Mali, that was why they happened. Because you see, those ones in charge of those countries, then they were in constant relationship with France. But the soldiers, they were bleeding. Bokwari came, cut off that funding. And Nigeria bleeded more than they've ever bled. These are facts. So if you have any relationship you want to build to protect your people, that relationship should be with Niger, Chad, Mali, Burkina Faso. These are those who are going to, they are like the buffer. They are those people who are supposed to kind of ward off the terrorists from advancing south, coming down to Nigeria. But now, these guys rejected France. We don't want to have anything to do with France anymore. We have fingered France involvement in this act of terrorism. It is like saying, you know, we are protecting you, but at the same time, you are providing weapons for those who are attacking us. So how does that relate? We don't want France anymore. So they chased them out. You in Nigeria, you now considered France more important than the regional joint security. How? So these guys now said, see, we understand the game. We know why France is romancing Nigeria. It is because they never believed in their widest imagination that these Sahel countries, they will have the strong audacity to chase them out after planning coup that France was not involved in. It was the first time in their history that coup took place in these West African countries without the involvement of France. So if France is able to recover in Nigeria, it's just going to be a matter of time before they begin to actually like regroup and put funds in support of these terrorists to take over these countries. So because of this, Nigeria shouldn't be relating with France militarily. So they are not stupid. They are not asking you not to relate with France, but they know why you are. They know why France is kind of romancing you. So pending the time France will be able to upstage them, overthrow this government, install their own puppets, and go back to these countries, Nigeria can fill in the gap. That's the situation right now. Nigeria can fill in the gap until they have enough time to get rid of these guys and install. And right now in Niger, yeah, they are already funding opposition there. Yeah, they are already funding opposition. And these oppositions in Niger, they can run to Nigeria now. Majority of them are now kind of like in Nigeria, criticizing the military there. Okay? Rolling out different falsehood. Just to make sure that if everything goes well, France will sponsor them. They can go back and just last night, there was a Boko Haram attack next to the presidential palace in Niger. It is what it is. So they are not asking you not to relate with France, but they know why you are relating with them. Nigeria, Tinubu was about to attack Niger Republic on behalf of France, remember? Until that memo got leaked. If the memo wasn't leaked, Nigeria and Niger would probably be at war right now. Yeah. It was all perfected. It was all sorted. And until when they realized that that's not how it works. Niger Republic is bigger than Nigeria by over 40%. Yeah, population-wise, you are bigger. But when it comes to landmass, Nigerian soldiers will be lost within Niger Republic and they will die more than you can imagine. But they didn't think it that way. It was just like Niger, just small Niger. We're just going to enter there and just remove those guys. You can see, and you can see how his tone changed with that lady interviewing him. It felt like Nigerians are not on the side of Nigeria. Instead of you to defend Nigeria, you are defending these guys. Instead of you to support us, you are supporting those guys. How would you support people that a lot of you are not in? What you are doing is not in the interest of Nigeria. It is in the interest of France. And when it comes to France, if France was good, they will not be chased away from these countries. They have been there for years. This is the age of internet. Everybody knows what they did in those countries. You can no longer use propaganda. Even just yesterday, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Macron came out and called those Sahel countries. He said they were ungrateful people, that they protected them from the terrorists to overthrow them. But guess what? They paid them back by chasing them away. That was what Macron said. He said they were ungrateful people. The arrogant Macron. So you guys are not doing anything in the interest of Nigeria. You are doing it in the interest of France and Tifnumbu, the CIA asset that is ready to sell anything as long as it's going to earn money in that contraption. That's the truth. So for however you kind of practice it. Oh, talking about the Sahel countries, right? So yesterday when they were doing the inauguration of John Mahama in Ghana, so he invited Ibrahim Traore to his inauguration. And guess what? In the last 2 years, Ibrahim Traore has had 21 assassination attempts on his life. Not to talk of how many times France has tried to bribe the supposed military hierarchy, those around him, who ended up having to expose the plot. 21 times they've tried to kill the guy. 21 times. And 21 times they failed. So for the first time, he left Burkina Faso to Ghana. And he was the only head of state who was allowed to dress in his military fatigue and carry the gun. He actually was holding his pistol. You know, he's always had his pistol in his holster. So here is what or how he was welcomed in Ghana in full way. Please watch this. That was Ibrahim Traore, the one that the clowns in Nigeria are probably the democratic scums from Nigeria, those who are deceiving you with democracy, you know, by stealing the people's mandate, in which they can then lord over you, rule over you, and do all sorts in the name of the fake democracy. So it was recognized, right? I mean, there are Africans that actually like sees them as the real leaders of Africa. The rest of your criminal leaders across Africa are considered stooges of the West that will do just anything to satisfy their puppet masters. So some even believe that they are currently the only independent African countries. And they are also doing their own bit to ensure that they launch their own TV, radio, and all that locally and internationally, so that this Western influenced media will not continue to, misrepresent them. That's what they are doing. They've opened their own trade bloc, their own media. They have their own defense. They are now kind of like working as a team, as a bloc, rather than as individual countries. So if you attack one, you attack all. And that's how they deal now. If any group of people come for them, they will come for you too. They will defend any of themselves in this struggle right now. That's what we know. Now, going forward, I think we should stop by in the northern part of Nigeria. Even though Tifnumbu was recorded returning back to Abuja early this morning, it is irrelevant. I just put it in the mix. Okay? Yes. Very well done. Yeah, that's a thick number. In his own return back to the contraption, you know. See, there's this guy, I believe, where is Uzea? What is it called? Hang on, yeah. You know, the honor J of Uzea. Where is that? Is that in Benin, in Edo States? This crowned king was talking about his own experience in the arms of the Fulani terrorists, how he has been paying ransom to terrorists in his own domain for those people kidnapped by these terrorists. Listen to this.
Our women, our wives go to farm, they rape them, at times they even set them ablaze. Me in particular, I paid ransom 3 times to Fulani herdsmen. They kidnapped my elder sister. They've also kidnapped 2 people from this palace. Even last month, I paid ransom also. To even sleep in this place is by the grace of Almighty. To even access this road, you need to get security. So that's the major problem. Me as John Ojo of Uzea, I no longer want Fulani in my forest. Let me also use this medium. Since the chiefs are here, they should go back home and ask questions. Anybody who have a hand in Fulani, stay in any part of Uzea forest. If I discover, I will drop that chief immediately. Because my people cannot be suffering. And some people will be somewhere enjoying, taking money from these people for us to be paying ransom. They will kidnap us, keep us in our own land, we'll pay ransom. We are tired. I don't have a hand in Fulani, and anybody in Uzea who have a hand in Fulani should, with immediate effect, tell them to leave. If you know them, tell them to leave Uzea. State government. Us in Uzea here, we need security. We need security. So that one day, we will not wake up and find out it's only 2 people that is remaining in this whole kingdom. Because the only police station we have here, they don't have manpower. Without the local hunters here, they cannot even effect any arrest.
And that's the situation in so many places as well. In some places, in Nigeria of today, police stations are closing at 4 p.m. for security reasons. Can you believe that? You go to the police station at 5 p.m. They say we are closed. There's nobody there. They say, why? Why is the police station closing at 4 p.m.? They say it is for security reason. Are you not supposed to be the security guys that should protect all of us? How could the police station shut at 4 o'clock? Well, if you don't want that, maybe you should go and put on the uniform and come here, come and be protecting people. In some areas, the communities, the towns, they have been left on their own, that they had to go and negotiate with the terrorists and say, okay, you know what? How much do you want us to be paying you so that you won't be kidnapping us or killing us? Say, okay, we want you to pay us 100 million naira every year. So these communities will now raise money and pay these terrorists. And Nigeria doesn't probably give a damn about them. Well, it doesn't anyway. Listen to this Hausa girl who has been using her platform again to explain to those who care to listen that the Fulani terrorists in any part of Nigeria is like a cancer, right? That the more you leave it to fester, the likelihood is going to take your life. The Hausas have been their major victims for a very long time until now that they are speaking up. I said something about Hausa Fulani yesterday. Another scam put in place by the Fulani political class. When it is convenient for them, politically convenient, they will say they are one, but they are not. Their real victims have always been the Hausas. Listen to this.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuhu. My name is Hasia Aminu. I'm from northern part of Nigeria. I'm Hausa by tribe. I'm here to address one issues that are going on in northern part of Nigeria between the Hausas and the Fulanis. We don't know what we did to the Fulanis. They are killing our brothers and sisters, the Hausa people, in our own fatherland. So I'm tired. I'm tired. Because we cannot be hiding under religion or anything that has to do with modesty, means kawaiti in Hausa language. We don't like show the world what is going on. And the same people, they are saying that we are the same, that we are Hausa Fulani. How comes Hausa language is different language? Fulani language is different language. We answer the same. Because even God that created us, He has already chosen every language that have to do with everybody that will speak the language. Whether if you are Hausa or Yoruba, any other tribe in Nigeria, you speak your own language. God has already created us, differentiate us. That wasn't enough. There are now like all our leaders in northern part of Nigeria, even the Emir Palace belongs to the Fulanis. Is there any land in Hausa land that belongs to Fulani? They are not Hausas. So why are they ruling us? While their people are killing us, they are not even telling the world what is going on, and they are not taking action about it. Before you know, they will say Islam. Islam gave them the right to kill Hausa people. Even the jihad, they said that Usman Danfodio did jihad. He made Hausa land with Islam, and all the emirs he killed, they are all Hausa people. They are all Hausa people. So please, which place in the Quran that they say that you should kill a Muslim and collect his throne and continue leading his people? Where? Just look at this selfishness. Enough is enough. Because these people are hypocrites. They are very wicked. They said that Usman Danfodio, that Hausa people don't have Islam, so he brought the Islam to Hausa people. So why did he collected the Hausa throne? Why? Even the governors, vice governors, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, Kebbi, all they are Fulani. Even governor, vice governor, for what? More than how many years? More than 15 to 20 years now. They are the only one that are doing governors. Why? They mean that Hausa man doesn't go to school or what? They are hiding under back of Hausas, speaking our language. And it's not that enough. They are killing our people. Please, can someone tell me the reason behind this? I'm here to tell the world. Please, they should put line between Hausa and Fulanis. Let Fulani go to their own land. Because me, I don't even know the real country they have. Those people. Let them go to their own country to stay there. Sorry with my own English. I'm not, it's not my father language, English. That is why I will speak it like anyhow. People will understand. So guys, enough is enough. Enough is enough. They should tell the Fulanis to leave the Hausa people to rule themselves. Because we didn't see anything. They are not doing anything good in Hausa land. They have destroyed the country. Especially the northern part of Nigeria. Everybody wants to bring his terrorists. Is northern part of Nigeria, and most of the terrorists are the Fulanis. Most of the terrorists are the Fulanis. What have we done to deserve the killing from the Fulanis? Just because our parents, great-grandparents welcomed them, then now they are killing us. For what reason? And the world is quiet, especially the leaders. The leaders all are Fulanis. We vote for Buhari. Most of who vote for Buhari, they are houses. He put Minister of Money, Minister of Education, Minister of FCT. Since I know all the ministers, they are Fulanis. What does that mean? And they are hiding under the houses. If they did wrong thing, they will call house. They will address them as Hausa. They are not Hausa. Their language a Hausa man cannot understand. A pure Fulani doesn't understand Hausa. We are not the same. They are now with us. Our culture, still everything that belongs to Hausas. That wasn't enough. We leave them just because of Islam. They are hiding under Islam, which is they are doing tribalism underground. Underground, they are doing tribalism issues. You all have seen it. Just because Hausa man he's very patient and doesn't take life as anything, doesn't mean he doesn't know what he's doing. We all know what you are doing, you're just patient. So gaskiya the thing is enough. The thing is enough. Enough is enough. Let Fulani lead their people. Let Hausa rule their people. Because they are killing us without taking any action. We are not animals. We are not animals. We are human beings like them. The world doesn't know what is going on. They are raping our parents, our sisters, killing us. The ones that are living in bush, those Fulanis, and they are the who is giving them gun. Who is giving them the gun? It's their leaders.
God bless you, dear. And we'll keep praying for you. So those of you who probably will take advantage of our expose to begin to ask some dumb questions like, somebody said, has she been sleeping all this while? No, she hasn't been sleeping. And she didn't choose to be born as an Hausa. Our own forebearers, our own ancestors welcomed the Fulanis and they paid with their blood. The fact that they hide under Islam, right, to get majority of them on board and then slaughter them. You may not know this, by the way. She is just one out of others who have been speaking up. She is a generation that possibly continue to probe. Why are they killing us? There are those before her. There have been those before her. And there are those who have actually been speaking up as well. And let me tell you this. There is this particular interview that was granted, a documentary conducted in northern part of Nigeria, where the Hausas are asking and demanding that they should be harmed. They should let them own their own guns and go after. See, if Nigeria break up today, the level of war that is going to happen between the Fulanis and the Hausas will be legendary. The legends will write about it for centuries to come. The reason why the Fulanis are still escaping the wrath of so many of these indigenous people is because of the political leverage they have in that contraption. When they are left alone, when Nigeria breaks up, of course, the Fulani terrorists would have to find a way to return to wherever they come from. All right? It will happen. The Hausas have been the victims of their terrorism for a while. And like she said, they've not been able to actually push back or fight back since the palaces of emirs are occupied by the Fulanis. The offices of the governors in northern part of Nigeria, they are occupied by the Fulanis. How did that happen? She is not the one to answer that. She was born into that place. You and I could have been born into Hausa land as well. And we could have been the victims of all of this too. I am happy. There are a generation that want answers. They are here. They may not be in the majority yet, but they will soon. And when that time comes, this contraption won't stand So those who are still keeping it together, it's like hanging by the thread. That's exactly what this contraption is for now. From the north to the south, from the west to the east, to the middle belt, a generation that knows that this contraption was not put together for us. It is not ours. If we have to even define it, Nigeria is more or less like the weapon fashioned against us. The older generation may disagree because they are those generations that got deceived, lied to, and they also lived these lies for so long. And that is why you see a lot of them telling you that they want Nigeria to remain one. We can make it work. A generation that doesn't want one Nigeria is here. And so shall many others that will come after us that do not want this one fake Nigeria. From the north to the west, to the east, to the south, to the middle belt of that contraption. The generation that doesn't want this lie or does not want to live this lie, they are here. Just give us time, okay? They are here searching for the answer to why is this contraption not working? Why is this place not working? And they are getting the answers every day. They are, you know? So somewhere in Kano, right? This happened. Just for the context, watch this.
Ambassador, wallahi bola ta yawa ba a kwashe mana. Mu shugabancin bai da wani amfani. Wallahi shugabancin bai da wani amfani. A ga wasu. Me amfani sa. Mun je na shara ta mana yawa tana neman ta take mu. Ba a kwashe mana. Me amfani mu ko muka zabi gwamnatin nan. Ba a kwashe mana shara me amfani. Me amfani ta.
See the entire environment. Yeah. So the guy was telling them that what is their benefit? That they are driving on a filthy road. What exactly is their use? That they are driving their expensive automobiles on a dirty, filthy road, which is the norm, you know, in that contraption. Meanwhile, somewhere in Lagos, as usual, Wahab took us on a ride of them dismantling illegal structures like this one.
¿Cómo te haré?
Allez, tu vas.
Wàábì sáà orí ẹ burú ni ìbéèrè ni wàábì Wabi, Obi Ogami. Wabi, Obi Ogami. Sorry, it's actually Wahab. So Gumba Wahab, the commissioner for environment in Lagos. So every time he's on the road, he's always there to show us the mega shitty and his own efforts in trying to reduce the eyesore. Okay? I'm talking about eyesore. You see, Nigerians in Nigeria, as we call it the contraption, where all abnormalities are always normal. And most of the time, the criminal tendencies of their criminal leaders is also a reflection of the followers too. An average Nigerian is out to shortchange anyone. It's like a dog eats dog situation. But kidnapping yourself so that your family will pay ransom to you is not part of what I envisage for 2025. I've seen it before. A wife that kidnapped herself asked her boyfriend, a woman, a married woman, asked her boyfriend to kidnap her. So they put her somewhere for her husband to pay ransom. Now the husband paid ransom. The husband was a very poor man, but he finally found money and he paid 1.5 million. So when the money was paid, the woman now started a fight with her boyfriend, okay, because of the sharing formula. Then somehow, the woman now went to the police station to go and report her boyfriend. So the boyfriend now came out and said, hey, you remember that time your wife got missing? No, she didn't go. We are not kidnappers. She came to me. In fact, I happen to be your wife's boyfriend. We arranged, okay, to say that we kidnapped her. And when you paid the ransom, so I needed money. So I used the money. Now, because I didn't give her the money, she decided to go and report me at the police station. It was one kind twist of a story. Like, I said, man, I haven't seen where a daughter conspired with her boyfriend to stage her own kidnapping so that her parents will pay ransom. What's in this world that's turned to like this? The person that brought us this expose is no other person than the Bright Edafe from Delta. Watch this.
I'm SP Edafe Bright, and this is Delta State Police Command. What we do is to bring you latest of happenings in Delta State that concerns crime and other related activities that you all learn from. Today we'll be parading a girl and a boy. She's 21 years. We'll find out the age of the boy very soon. She left the house on the 30th of December to go and visit the boyfriend. And when it's time for her to go back, the boyfriend was not having transport fare to give to her. And she sold the idea to the boyfriend. Why don't we call my parents and tell them that I have been kidnapped? They actually called the parents and demanded for 2 million naira. Even when the parents were begging for 100,000, they declined. 500,000, they declined until the parent decided to report to the police. We will first of all interview the mom, who is here to tell us the pain she went through over what her own daughter, did to her, after which we interview the two sons. Well, just tell us how she left the home and how they started calling you.
On 30th of December, she left saying that she wants to go make her hair to the next village. She didn't return home. On 31st, they called that she did not return. I went to the village. I made entry in police station Asaba. They started calling my daddy, making demand of money. How much can he offer? The man said he has 40,000, that he's a farmer. He does not have money. They cut the call. The next one they called, demanding for money, again 2 million. He pleaded with them that he has only 100,000. They said 2 million or nothing.
Okay. So you reported first at the
Okpe-odoyo police station.
Okpe-odoyo police station. Okay. Okay, was it from there that the letter brought the mother to anti-kidnapping?
No, I came to report at this place.
Okay, you
yes.
came back to anti-kidnapping
to make
yourself,
yes,
to make a proper entry.
Yes,
okay, because you know this is where they usually tackle kidnapping cases.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. What is your name?
Okule Princess.
Be audible. Sir. What is your name?
Okule Princess.
What will be your boyfriend name?
Prince.
Okay, you are princess. He is prince. Prince and princess. Okay, it's okay. So you went to his house on the 30th of December.
Yes, sir.
Okay, who is it to you?
My boyfriend.
Okay, so on the day that you were supposed to leave the house, what happened?
He don't have money.
So what did you now suggest to him?
He told my parents that I was kidnapped.
Okay, so he bought the idea. He agreed to it. Let's say you want to make her the use PG.
Sir.
Okay, so after you don't tell her, what thing you can do?
Yes, I called my parents.
And demanded for how much?
2 million.
2 million naira. Okay. So according to him, now you tell him, say make him call your parents, say they kidnap you. So that you will raise money for him. I mean the money now. Who go get the money to say the money call?
We are going to share it.
When I go share them. Okay. How old are you?
21 years.
21 years. Okay. Have you finished secondary school?
Yes, sir.
Are you in university? You did university?
I just gained admission.
You get admission. These are your secondary school. Who train you for secondary school?
My parents.
Your parents. Who go train you for this university where you get admission?
My parents.
And at the same period, now you say may they collect 2 million naira for so that you and your boyfriend will share them. How do you feel as a human being if you grow and give birth to children tomorrow and they do this to you? How you go feel?
Bad.
Talk, man. When many people hear you, you go feel bad. Okay. My friend, what's your name?
Prince Kedu.
Prince Kedu. What is who is she to you?
She's my girlfriend.
Okay, she came to your house on the 30th of December.
Yes, sir.
So what happened the next day?
I didn't have transport to give to her.
Talk now.
I know the transport to give to her. So,
okay.
Yes, sir. So I suggested she slept.
Talk.
I suggested she slept over. Then the next day, then I'll now.
So what happened the next day?
The next day, I didn't have any money with me, so she said that she blew up and I just said I should call her parents and then she was kidnapped.
She was kidnapped. So when you call the parents, how much you tell them, say maybe they give you for a ransom?
2 million naira.
2 million naira. How much they call letter send?
2 million.
They send the 2 million?
They send the 2 million.
They send the 2 million?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how will be the plan to share the money?
They plan to give 500,000 and then.
Okay, you will give the girl 500, you go take 1.5 million.
Yes, sir.
And your plan be that?
Yeah,
confirm again, say now she tell you, say may you call the family, say they kidnap her.
Now she tell me.
So why do you think she did that?
No, I don't know, but she said she want to go back. She want to go to school. Like
no, why she won't generate money from her period now, so that you go collect 1.5, you go collect 500. Now love when she love you,
yeah, if na love, she love me.
Oh, now love, now make her do it. So tomorrow, if your children do this to you, how you go say now love, they love their boyfriend?
No, so I feel very bad, sir.
Okay, but you know what you have done, whether it's self-kidnapping or conspiracy, kidnapping is kidnapping.
No?
Okay, so thank you very much. Like I always say, parenting is key. Parenting is key. I don't see the sin that the mother and the father has committed to train this child to secondary school, and like she has said, she has gained admission into the university and to be trained by the same parent, but she connect with her boyfriend to.
No, they don't get picking. And to all of us who are parents, I don't know what to say, because you may even do everything right, and somehow the society will still influence them and lead them astray. Like you may do everything right, raising your child. But a child that knows that her parents are not rich, went out to conspire with her boyfriend to demand for money that she knew her parents didn't have. So it's an unfortunate thing. So again, I do not know what an advice or what kind of advice I should give to you as a parent. Because like I said, you may do everything right, raise your children right. Then the society, all right, would influence them. But there's always, the sign is always there too. Like I've been told many times, you know, the sign is always there. And when you see them going astray, do not spare the rod, as they say. know, because I mean, I remember I was very stubborn myself. Like very, very stubborn, but not wayward. I was never wayward. Enough that I mean, people used to say that because I was raised by my mom, you know, you would say if a boy is raised by a woman, it's likely not going to end well. But that's not true. I know so many people raised by women and they turned out very good. I am like a very good example myself. Do you get that now? So just the sign will always be there. And when you see it, please do not spare the rod. Scream out. Maybe you can save that child. A child that's self-kidnapped can possibly arrange to kill her parents. You know, I've seen children who organize the killing of their parents because of the properties. Yeah, I've seen that too, you know. So again, you may do everything right, but the society can sure influence them negatively. And then you just be like a failed parent. It's unfortunate. Okay. I mean, it's always like it never finishes. And the time is always never enough for me. I want you to listen to something. This is someone who also speaks out on the failure of Tinubu's regime in his own words. Before I react, watch this.
Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, somebody that is well known to me, and I've known him to be a complete gentleman, a diplomat par excellence, and also one individual that I know is competent. One of the most worthy and outstanding narrative about this interview, based on Nigeria's foreign policy, is that, to me, if you ask me, honestly, I've not been able to get the stronghold of Nigeria's foreign policy as it is today. Agreed, it's in the constitution. Africa is center point of Nigeria's foreign policy, looking at the issues of commitment to African unity, peace and tranquility, and looking at other multilateral engagements with other nations and what have you. The ministry has been dormant. For a very long time, I've not seen the ambassador or any foreign affairs minister or ministry talking about Nigeria's foreign policy, having engaged robust engagement with Nigerians. They've been on the dormant side. And it's good today that you've been able to pull him out of the cocoon where he is to come and explain to Nigeria some of these fundamental policies.
And were you impressed with his explanations?
Well, he has gone on a long journey of discovery, trying to impress Nigeria or trying to come out to look at the questions dispassionately. I think he has tried, but to a large extent, there are a lot of pitfalls. I saw the question you posed us, but you know, as a diplomat and also a very intelligent person, he has been able to dodge some of the questions. Not going straight to the point, looking at the questions from very angle. Look at it this way. The issue of ECOWAS, 3 countries leaving ECOWAS, it has never happened in the history of the West African sub-region. It has never. Mauritania only went once, only it were left. But for these countries to leave 3 countries that are bordering Nigeria, you know that those are constants. Once your neighbor is in trouble, or once your neighbor is also sleeping, you too will not sleep. That is the problem. And Nigeria has not been able to look at the issues dispassionately. Because for the exit of these countries that are sharing common borders with us, it is a serious problem to us. He's talking about Libya training terrorists and what have you, giving the arms and ammunition. Through which routes were they coming to Nigeria? Through all these borders. And if for any reason, I know as your neighbor, I'm not comfortable with you, I'll open my border and I'll pretend as if I have not seen anything. So the earlier we try to mend our fences, look at Africa as center point of our foreign policy, the better for us. As it is today, Nigerians will agree that our foreign policy direction is moving towards France. Because
so he did say that we've always had that partnership or relationship with France. So this is not new. You don't agree with him?
No, I don't. This is the only time that I've seen us getting close and closer to France. Never in the history of Nigeria have we seen this romance between Nigeria's government and France. Why have we not been going to America? Why have we not been going to UK, our colonial masters, to have a robust engagement in terms of policy, trust, and what have you?
That's the part I almost forgot when I was playing that two-guard nonsense interview. Is dodging of the main question and then trying to, trying to deflect. Tifnumbu is a cause, just like a Bokwari is a cause to that contraption. If you ask any Runuku right now, a bad idiot or a bad start, ask them, what is Tifnumbu's foreign policy? Even the foreign affairs minister cannot tell you what is Tifnumbu's foreign policy. The foreign policy for Africa, for West Africa, and for the rest of the world. They can't tell you. Because there is none. I mean, you are supposed to have foreign policy, as a government, a policy to say this is how we want to relate with West African countries. This is how we want to relate with the rest of Africa. This is how we want to relate with the rest of the world. This is how we want to relate with China. This is how we want to relate with Russia. This is how we want to relate with America. These are policy statements that should guide the actions of a government. But these ones, they don't have any. None. So the Nigerian place in the world is that of a blind-sighted kind of approach. It is a place where any belle face. And as some of you who don't even understand, what is this foreign policy you mean? I don't understand it. For example, you have a problem of insecurity, right? Of terrorism, fueled by religious connotation and the rest of that. So you have to sit down and begin to kind of look at what kind of policy are we going to push on how we are going to relate with our neighbors. And just like I said earlier, that if you are saying that France is more important to you than your neighbors who don't want to have anything to do with you anymore, then you are not supposed to actually be in government. But Nigeria is a place where anything goes. The lunatics have taken over the asylum. It is now anywhere belle face. And the consequences is all this death that you are seeing. Over 614,000 Nigerians were kidnapped, were killed in 1 year under Tifnumbu. Papa, I don't think they've killed up to that in Ukraine. No. And Ukraine is at war. 614,000 Nigerians killed in a year. And Nigeria is not at war. 2.23 million Nigerians were kidnapped. 2,239,000 Nigerians were kidnapped in 1 year. 2.3 trillion naira was paid in ransom to terrorists in Nigeria in 1 year. And nobody is alarmed. You are not alarmed. Maybe now that you are hearing it. Really? They would kind of come around and say, do you think that number of people will die and people will not know? And all of that stuff, just to make you feel like, don't worry, it's not true. It's an unfortunate situation, honestly speaking. Prince Georgeman.
Hey! Nigeria bagona koko. Na January 2025 we do. Nigeria army, they don't enter bush. Boko Haram don't arrive, they don't run enter bush. And you still there. They do want Nigeria. Who go guide you? If they come for you, now who go guide you? One day you go just wake up because you say Nigeria don't turn to Afghanistan, Boko Haram. They tell on now referendum, even now they can referendum. You see they depend, they say Trumbu, we go run now, enter France with France people. Leave you there, you're your own. They tell on they hear. Nigeria army now is now the bloody civilian. They are now the bloody civilians. If they see Boko Haram, they run enter bush. They don't even thank God for their life. People were sign with their life that to die if anything come along. They run enter bush. We they tell on they here. IPOB they tell on her. Make na live now the cano. Live now the cano. And conduct referendum. The way they be go now, the way everything they go, we no need for referendum again. Everybody go run on the run. Somalia visa. Now they can't tell on now. Somalia visa. Or on the hear what? Nigeria.
Ìgbà kan máa dé àsìkò kọ́ṣe ń bọ̀ wá ìgbà kan máa dé àsìkò kọ́ṣe ń bọ̀ wá tólórò máa sáré ọlọ́pàá máa sáré ayé máa sáré ẹyẹ tí ò dúró rere máa sáré àlórà máa sáré hs tí kò mọ kankan máa sáré everybody máa sáré gbogbo wa pátá máa sáré ìgbà yẹn ti dé àsìkò yẹn náà làwà ìgbà yẹn ti dé àsìkò yẹn náà làwà everybody máa sáré ọlọ́pàá máa sáré àwọn tó ń ṣòro gan máa sáré olúmọlẹ̀ máa sáré àpènà máa sáré olúwo ìlú gan máa sáré everybody pátápátá máa sáré gbogbo wa máa sáré àwọn ọmọ fantasy base máa sáré àwọn ọmọ tomorrow base máa sáré akíndóyin base máa sáré ayépéjọsọ base máa sáré everybody pátá máa sáré.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that. Sorry, oh. May God not allow them, make them kill you. 70 years old man. I am mumu na too much. You be mumu. You think say they wise?
You say they wise. Brethren, I know that a lot of you who are the Ronukus on this platform sometimes think that exposing the lies of these rogues, these compulsive, unrepentant liars and their lies is it's like a negative or evil wish for Nigeria. You see, wishes don't pay bills. Wishes don't run countries. Actions do. Because there's only actions that actually would show whether your action is positive or negative, whether it is, progressive or retrogressive. Action is action, right? And your action will determine if you are if you are progressing or you are retrogressing. They lied to you that their refineries are working. Then they back it up with propaganda. The propaganda that their refineries, I've never seen that in my life. Refineries are working in Nigeria, but the refineries that is refining crude oil, the refineries are not refining PMSC. Port Harcourt refinery, their claim is working, where it doesn't refine PMS. Warri refinery, the claim is working, but it doesn't refine PMS. Now only diesel and kerosene. But the same time they told you that your refineries are working, is the same time these guys imported nearly 1 billion liters of petroleum from Malta. Nearly 1 billion, 976 million liters of petroleum from Malta. And this is what they moved to Port Harcourt, loading. The one they are moving to, what do you call it? NNPCL. Last year, they spent, they spent 1.1 billion, not even last year. I'm talking about between October and November. These guys imported petroleum product worth $1.1 billion. Putting pressure on your forex. Money that they told you that the moment Dangote refinery started working, there will be no importation of petroleum anymore. You believed them. They are telling you that the refineries are working, but they are still importing petroleum to Nigeria. They are not even patronizing Dangote. No, they are not. Guess what? The same people that told you that refineries are working, right now, they have, increased the expected forex they are going to spend in the first quarter of 2025. That is between January, February, and March 2025. These guys will receive $1.25 billion to import fuel to Nigeria. So you ask yourself, the guys that are going to get this money, they are, you see that Banex, what is it called? This guy that that celebrated his 50th birthday just in December last year, just last month. And then Wale Tinubu of Ohando. So this $1.25 billion will be given to them. They don't have refineries. They don't have anything other than the one they bought in Malta. So why are you still spending forex on importation of fuel to Nigeria? And guess what? The typical Ronukus came up and they said, hey, it is a market force economy. Market force economy. Shouldn't you protect that Dangote that is refining crude oil? I did come here to tell you that Matrix oil, God bless you, Papa. It is Matrix oil, not Bantex or so. It's Matrix. Ohando, Matrix, and one other. These are the guys, and then the NNPCL. NNPCL alone imported over 400 million liters of petroleum products in between September, October, and November 2024. That Matrix oil, Matrix energy or Matrix oil, they imported, right, in their own, that same period as well, they imported over $250 million worth of petroleum products. And Ohando, of course, Ohando also imported over $300 million of petroleum to Nigeria. Guess who provided the forex? Central Bank of Nigeria and one undisclosed commercial bank. And you are supposed to have a working refineries. Ohando business that was valued at 72 billion naira before May 29, 2023. At the end of, by May 29, 2024, Ohando was already worth over 2 trillion naira in assets. By May 2025, they probably will be crossing over 5 trillion naira. No thanks, or all thanks to Kolu Tiknumbu, the man that told you that he removed subsidy to save you. So if your refineries are working, the question then is, where are they getting the crude oil from? Because there's no crude oil anymore for any refinery in Nigeria. Do you know that? This is another open secret that some of you Ronukus, you are hoping and wishing that it is actually not true. Dangote, with his refinery, with the deal is signed with Nigeria, under Bukwari, Dangote was supposed to be getting 300,000 barrels of crude oil every day. But they did not tell him that that same amount of crude oil has been signed off on a debt that they took from the Afrexim Bank. That is why they couldn't give Dangote crude oil. They couldn't. Dangote is not asking them to give him free crude oil. To buy Nigerian crude oil, save cost on production and refine it in Lagos. There is no crude oil to give Dangote. No crude oil to constantly give Dangote. Have you asked yourself now, where are they getting the crude oil they are claiming to be refining in Port Harcourt? You want it to be so true. You want that lie to be so true that a lot of them have become so senseless that they are calling people like us enemies of Nigeria, enemies of progress. While the real enemies, Kyari, Tifnumbu, Bokwari, and the rest of all these propagandists that are pushing these lies are walking about, laughing at you. How come they couldn't give Dangote crude oil? The crude oil is there in Nigeria. The reason is because Nigeria is not the one extracting our crude oil. The what do you call them? International oil companies, IOCs, the ones that are really extracting the crude oil. Their deal is to give Nigeria 250,000 barrels of crude oil every day. And Nigeria has already mortgaged that. They've collected a loan from the Afrexim Bank. We don't know what they use the money for. Now, it is the Afrexim Bank that is taking the crude oil, selling the crude oil to whoever they wanted to sell it to. The same Tifnumbu already took another loan from the same Afrexim Bank, remember? In 2023, September 2023, Tifnumbu approached Afrexim Bank, took a loan of $3.3 billion that they gave to him twice. First, $2 billion. And by the March or April of 2024, they gave him the balance of $1.3 billion. Guess what they said they used the money for? To defend Nigeria Naira. I'm just reminding you in case if you have forgotten, because they continue to lie and lie until they started believing their own lies. They are believing their own lies. But a lot of you are ignoring facts, hoping what they are saying to you, which are actually lies. You are hoping that they will turn out to be truth. No matter how many times you repeat a lie, it will never be a truth. Never. Tinubu said they should go and give Dangote crude oil. How come they have not been able to? Because there's no crude oil to give Dangote. Now they said, 150,000 barrel crude oil, barrel of crude oil every day. Port Harcourt Refinery is working. Where is the crude oil? 250,000 barrel of crude oil. Warri Refinery is working. Where is the crude oil? How come your refineries are not refining petrol? They are only refining diesel. Oh, anyway, in the other news, so those of you who are watching this broadcast from Nigeria, well, it has now been confirmed that before the end of this month, if it is not already effective, or like if it's already not in effect, right? So before the end of January, your telecommunication tariffs will go up by as much as 40%. So you're going to pay more for text messages. You're going to pay more for phone calls. You're going to pay more for your data. So the outcome of it is that the number of viewers on MaiyegunsDiary Politico will drop as well, because a lot of you will have to choose between buying food or buying data. So you guys, should make a buy food or make a buy MTN data. You are about to. It is just about to go down. Right? Anyway, I wish you what you wish yourselves. Okay? In Ibadan, the lawyers to, hang on, before that, they have a minister for state for education. A woman who was actually telling us that Alimajiri children, they are not out of school children. According to her, Alimajiri is a form of education. And people should stop counting them as out of school children. In fact, they have started the propaganda of saying Alimajiri school is similar to your kind of education you are getting from southern part of Nigeria. That what they need to do is to give money to those afas, those sheikhs or the sheikhs, give them money and stop the children from coming out to beg so that they can go and study Quran, go and study Illegality. And according to them, this is the policy of Tifnumbu. In the Illegality, they know they teach them science or mathematics. So now, if somebody graduates from Illegality as Alimajiri, who is going to employ that person? So very soon they are going to tell you that Tifnumbu has reduced the out-of-school children. They will soon tell you that. And tell you that the northern Nigeria no longer have out-of-school children, because according to this minister.
What we are doing under the Renewed Hope agenda, under Education Renewed Hope,
We have key priority areas that we are focusing. We are trying to come up with reformations that are long-lasting. Most of the time, there are different interventions by different governments. Most of these interventions are not actually leaving lasting solution to the problem. But from an insider now that understand what it takes to make this reformation change, to make all these changes, I can say that what we are working for now, what we are working on based on the renewed agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, if fully implemented, will actually lead to a lasting solution to the different problems we have in the education sector.
Okay, so give us an example of one of those reforms that will make a major dent.
We have about 6 key priority areas. Each of these key priority areas have different arms in terms of, as I said, we are looking for lasting solution. So it's not just to identify one thing to do, rather let's look at it holistically, different areas. For instance, one of the key issues we have is out-of-school children. What do we have on the ground to solve the issue of out-of-school children? We have different reforms that we are targeting to ensure that we enroll these children back to school. Let's take, for instance, there are solutions, but let's take the Al-Majri Commission that we have, Al-Majri Commission on Out-of-School Children. This commission has programs, and these programs they have are lasting programs. Apart from that, under the Al-Majri education, because issue around out-of-school children, we have about 15 million that are considered out-of-school children. We have different data, but it depends on the data you are looking at. But basically, let's say 15 million out-of-school children that we have. These 15 million include Al-Majri, but as we all are aware, everybody living in Nigeria knows that Al-Majri have a system of education. Right. They have their own curriculum, they have their teachers, they have a system that they are using in educating this Al-Majri. So the definition itself, we want to go back and redefine what do we mean by out-of-school children, because Al-Majri are not part of that program. But then at the same time, for us to ensure that we help this Al-Majri to fit into the general system that we have of education, let's go back and see about providing them with foundational learning, basic literacy, basic numeracy, even some aspect of digital training, and also skill acquisition program.
Because when you say that they have their own system of education, the question will be, how useful is that education for today's world?
Yes, and that's why we are coming up with this reformation. Let's give them skill training. If you are attending an Al-Majri school, you are at the same time being taught the foundational learning. Literacy, numeracy, skill, and digital training. When I say literacy, numeracy, have the ability to read and write, do basic arithmetics, be able to operate simple digital tools, your phones, mobile phones, do all those, a lot of opportunities are out there. And then you'll be equipped with a skill. That skill is meant to help you live a sustainable future. When you have a skill that you can actually be able to make use of to empower yourself and even your family, then you are being mainstreamed into the general system. So we have that plan on the ground.
Before you even come to the Al-Majri system and the out-of-school children, I mean, in most parts of the world, education is regarded as a basic right, that is a fundamental right that every child should have. And so it's also used to measure the growth and development of every country. So why do you think it's difficult to make basic primary and secondary education compulsory and free in Nigeria? What is so difficult in achieving that?
It's compulsory is also free. Most of states have made that declaration that basic education is compulsory and free.
But in most states it's not free.
It depends. We have the national and we have at subnational level. And I'm sure that there is a bill now in the assembly trying to pass this so that it can ensure that all the states have that also. But at the same time, let's have...
Oh dear. Have you seen where the sheikhs that give bowls, begging bowls, to these children? Have you seen the facilities where they are educating these children in northern Nigeria before? So this all talk of trying to teach them numeracy, trying to teach them technology, we have to teach them how to use their phone apps, blah, 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 talk. Goodluck Ebere Jolantan built over 13,000 schools, Alimajiri schools, across northern Nigeria. You heard me? 13,000 of them. Immediately, Boko Haram came in. They closed all those schools. And before that, some of the schools in some of these communities, the Boko Haram were warning the parents that they must not send their children to those schools, or else they will kill those children. And the sheikhs, all of their sheikh and all that, they said Goodluck Ebere Jolantan was trying to force Western education on their children. Meanwhile, Alimajiri schools, they are like the conventional schools, okay? Plus Quranic recitation, education, inclusive. But the sheikhs that have all these children, that uses them for begging, called Alimajiri, they will have them recite Quran, okay? Then they will send them out to the street to go and beg. If you do not come back with substantial arms that you have collected, you are going to be starved. Children as young as 2 years old, 2 years, they are on the street begging. So they said Jonathan was taking them away from, they are taking the children away from them. And because of that, there was a massive campaign against Alimajiri school. To this day, all the schools were shut down. All of them. Boko Haram didn't build one single classroom for any of these children. Not a single classroom was built by Boko Haram for 8 years. You can fact check me if you want to. Please do. Show me one picture of any Alimajiri school built by Boko Haram in 8 years. Not a single one. So you see that nonsense that lady was talking, that Ajia, is always the talking points. We have this plan, we have that plan, renew hope, the agenda, renew. So very soon the idea is to pay these sheikhs because they need the children for education, for election. You understand? And the only people that get paid for having as many of these children in their care, they are the sheikhs of northern Nigeria. They are the ones that will match out the underage voters. So the idea of Tifnumbu's renewed hope agenda, the renewed shege, is to give some money to them. They say they want to treat them like a boarding house. So instead of the children going out to beg, let's start giving some money to some of these sheikhs. Give them some money. At least the reason why they are sending the children to go and beg is because they wanted money, Abi. Let's start giving them some allocations every month so that the number of these children going outside to beg will reduce and they can stay in a place and begin to recite the Quran. There's no formal education for them, nothing. All this curriculum, they are like a talking point of what Goodluck Ebere Jolantan developed. Baba, Jonathan developed a curriculum for the Alimajiri, Baba. It was the first and the only time that ever existed in that contraption. Curriculum, they hired teachers. Teachers that will teach these children in Hausa language, in their local languages. They don't have to speak English to them. They were teaching them in their local languages, Baba, or they stopped them from attending. This is true story, true life story. It got to a point that they said maybe they should start giving them money to attend schools. The schools were there. The children are not going. Then Boko Haram happened. And the rest is history today. The rest is history. So in Ibadan, remember the stampede in Ibadan? Now, yesterday, the case came up in one of the courts, Yagonku in Ibadan. And after the back and forth argument, you remember that they are still keeping Oriyomi Hamzat and Queen Naomi in prison as we speak because of the stampede, as they were remanded in prison. So their lawyer said there is actually no law to back the detention of this duo in prison. In his own words, by the way, listen.
My name is Adekunle Sobaloju.
Could you please
represent the counsel for the applicant, which is Oriyomi Hamzat.
So, can you let us into what transpired in the court room, please?
Well, what we did was we filed an application that he should be admitted to bail pending arraignment. And the application was argued today. The court listened to all the various arguments, recommended to it, and ruling was reserved for the 13th of January. So principally we are saying he ought to be admitted on bail based on certain grounds which I would not want to expatiate on here.
And the issue of jurisdiction also came to full.
Yeah, we are saying by law that they ought not to be arraigned by a holding charge. That ordinarily they should have followed the provision of the law, which is section 292 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Law. That is, they should not detain or remand them in custody based on a holding charge. We have canvassed the point in court, and it is for the court to deliver a considered ruling on it.
There is an argument whether it is legal or illegal. What's your stand on that?
That is for the court to say. We have argued that for us, holding charge is unknown to law. We were arraigned for charges which we felt that the magistrate court has no jurisdiction to take. And in view of the fact that it has no jurisdiction, if they were to be remanded, they must be remanded pursuant to a proper application made to the court, either by the person having the authority having custody of Oriyomi or by the state.
Your name, sir?
I've told you my name. I said my name is Adekunle Sobaloju.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So, on that note, we can now come to the end of this chat this evening. I am going to be back again tomorrow to continue the reading. For those of you who probably missed the first part of the reading today, the Harold Smith story, how Britain rigged the election, rigged the census, that eventually puts the chosen northern Nigeria on top of the rest of Nigeria. The genesis of our problems in that contraption, how it was all planned, orchestrated, and sustained by the supposed British in this book. We have started reading it. And you can join us again tomorrow afternoon. Okay? So, I want to say a big thank you to all of you again for your time and for listening. So please, like the broadcast if you haven't already. Share it as well. Again. And then subscribe to the channel if you haven't, especially on YouTube. I am going to see you again when I see you, and that will be tomorrow afternoon during our brunch time. Take care of yourselves. And good night from here.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun #1. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun #1. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun #1. Lórí ìfẹ́.
àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Maiyegun Diary Politico. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. ọba bá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. kí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. àyè. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. bọ́tà ń lérí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bóyá. àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹ̀yin bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
Allow the two it's okay. It's okay. Off your mic. It's okay. She off your mic.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic, and if we talk, na 500,000 they go sama us call am hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people wey dey spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, yeah, yeah. Maiyegun don come, oh, yeah, yeah. This one not the off in mind. Oh, yeah, yeah. Maiyegun don come, oh, yeah, yeah. And in the torchlight every corner. Oh, yeah, yeah. Maiyegun don come, oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú.
Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun diary Politico.
Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one.
Godfatherism sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
MaiyegunDiary na ibi number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
MaiyegunDiary na ibi number one.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ o làwa mọ̀ tótótótó.
MaiyegunDiary na ibi number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Wọ́n bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Maiyegun live. Thank you so much for joining me. And brethren, as usual, read the caption of this broadcast and read beyond the caption of the broadcast. Read the description of the broadcast. Like it. Share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends and tell them that Maiyegun today. And thank you if you have done that already. Tonight, we are taking a trip to the happenings or to Edo State, where a lot has been happening. I don't know if some of you have been following that, but tonight I'm bringing to you, every one of us here, the shameless, unlawful, scandalous happenings in Edo State. Or you know, Nigeria is a lawless place, as we kind of love to remind ourselves. Some of their actions and inactions usually doesn't really kind of like, jot a lot of people. In fact, when things are done legally or rightly in the contraption, some of us believe that they are likely done by error, by mistake, and they do not take time to correct their mistake, because a lawless place where anything is done lawfully is always like going to look like an error. I mean, it's normal. Nigeria is a place where abnormalities seems normal to the people there. After rigging APC into the government house in Edo State, the APC thugs have been moving mad in that state. The drivers, the commercial drivers in the states have not been spared. The first move was to remove all the local government chairmen, even though it's on record that they were elected or selected. No, elected, kind of. But we know that that election itself is, what it was. So the Edo State, 18 local government areas of Edo State are being controlled by PDP. And immediately the Obaseki and his gang lost power. It was time for Oshiomhole and his stooge, Okpe-odoyo, the Odoyo governor of Edo, to replace them, but they haven't figured out how. So the first thing was to suspend them by declaring them illegal, because they won't, according to him, they won't be loyal to the APC. So they sent thugs to take over the local government areas. Thugs who were wielding canes to beat up any local government chairman that showed up. So a court said that was illegal, that was wrong. So they were returned back. Only for Okpe-odoyo and his gang to now initiate an impeachment. But I have never seen anything like that before in my life. You know what they did? In a one fall swoop, they impeached all the 18 local government chairmen. Usually, it is always said the councillors that will impeach local government chairman. And I have never seen a situation whereby this local government, 18 local governments at a time, got impeached in a one fell swoop until this happened days ago in Edo State. So the drama has been going on for the past 6 or so days, but it's just somehow the media has been looking away from that. So tonight we shall go to Edo State, where Okpe-odoyo has now appointed his own caretaker chairman for the local government areas of Edo State. These are now the APC, Egbekegbe Loyal Chairmen. With their Supreme Court ruling, it is illegal to have caretaker chairmen in the local government areas in any part of Nigeria. That is why majority of them have been doing everything possible, okay, to have an election, even if it's going to be a selection, so that they will be able to have access to their local government money. But what they have done in Edo State is complete illegality, a charade. But it is Nigeria where, as usual, illegal things are always kind of legal. Abnormal things are always normal to them. But the media has not been like paying attention somehow. In my own opinion, except few interviews we grabbed on Arise, where someone was talking about it. And then what's going on afterward. Okpe-odoyo has now appointed his own caretaker chairman. He has sworn them in, and he has ordered them to take over the local government areas for him. While the elected local government chairmen of 18 local government areas were impeached the same day by no other than APC thugs. The local government councillors are not even like in session as we speak. They claim to be in recess, where they are expected to be back by the 20th of January. Today is the 8th of January. Guess what? The same councillors have now been reported to have removed all the local government chairmen in the 18 local government areas of Edo State. An illegality that they believe they can always get away with. Somebody has something to say on that. Let's start with this tonight. Here.
It is after that resolution by the House of Assembly that all hell have been let loose in Edo State. And we need to draw the attention of Nigerians to this. That you cannot dissolve the local government councils, because they were elected by people, by Edo citizens. You cannot. The Supreme Court has said so. The Attorney General of the Federation has said so. The Chief Judge of Edo State has said so. Even after the suspension, the council chairman went back to the court. And a judge in Edo State, High Court 2, Honorable Justice F.A. Ipomba, set aside the suspension, the illegal suspension done by the House of Assembly. You would have thought that everybody that has some level of conscience, of sense in him, will stop at that. But no, even after the High Court judge has given his judgment, in fact, that was when the whole thing now snowballed into what we are now witnessing in Edo State, where one councillor, two councillors, led by the police and the DSS, will go into a council hall and say they have impeached a local government, an elected local government chairman. I've never seen such a thing before in my life.
Well,
as if Section 19 of the 2000 Edo State local government law stipulates exactly how a local government council chairman and his vice can be impeached. It's a process. It's just like impeaching the governor of a state. You cannot do it within 1 hour. It's impossible. It's unlawful. It's unconstitutional. It's a process. You have to have 2/3 signing into a petition that the chairman and the vice have committed, in the opinion of the petitioner, gross misconduct. 2/3 members of the council must sign that petition, taken to the leader of the house. A panel needs to be set up. It's a process, just as I said, just like impeaching the governor of a state or the president of the country. So, for us as a party, we think that there has never been any impeachment in this state. All the council chairmen that we elected and their vice, as far as we are concerned, they are still on their seats. We have directed that they should go back to their offices. Nobody has impeached them. We are taking remedies. We're going to charge some people for content to court. Because we cannot allow this, sorry, we cannot allow this blazing act of illegality to happen in our dear state. So we just think that the Nigerians should be aware of what is happening in Edo State. We think that what is happening, all the fingers point to the governor of the state, Monday Okpe-odoyo, who has decided to disregard court judgments, to disrespect court judgments, to think that he can just wake up one morning and say, I want this to happen, and it will happen. And we are telling him it will never happen in Edo State.
Well, it has happened. So like he said, initially, they used the status of assembly to suspend local government chairmen, elected government, local government chairmen, which in itself, right, is illegal. The status of assembly has no control over the local government, talk less of them suspending the local government's administration. They have no such power, but they did suspend them. And that was the beginning of the invasion of all these local government areas by the APC thugs. So when that didn't work, like he also said, they got a few of these councillors who were supposed to be on recess. They got them back from, in different parts of the states to go in and announce the impeachment of the local government chairman and their vice. And after that, the next stage was to appoint replacements. The replacements they did as well with the support of the status of assembly. So they were quickly confirmed and sworn in a few days back. And yep, they went on to take over the local government areas as the new acting local government chairman. In all of this illegality, right? The confidence of the APC, including the Okpe-odoyo, the Bolo governor of Edo, right? They're illiterate too. It's like a mission accomplished. So if you are not comfortable with this decision, just go to court. But they didn't stop there. They started going after the supposed councillors whose power were usurped by the order of the governor, okay? So they said, we didn't, majority of us were not part of this impeachment. How can you, now hang on, if we impeach the chairman, right? And we impeached the vice chairman, normally the speaker, which is the speaker for the councillors, should be appointed as the chairman of these local government areas, not like you have to. So what is really going on? Are we dissolved? Like, have you dissolved the local government administration? Because caretaker committee that you put in place do not have councillors. So does that mean that the councillors impeached themselves too? Or what is really going on? Some of them are out in adding their voice. So I have a bit of a short clip of one of those purported impeachments in this collection of videos of the supposed councillors as well, lamenting that they had no idea what's going on. They are crying out, by the way, just for the record here.
As the new leader of the legislative arm.
Listen, to that first video, the person that wore wig as a speaker of leader, rather, they use leader of the local government council, the leader of the councillors, all right? He's a thug, he's not a councillor of anywhere, right? But he had to go and dress up like a lawyer with wig, all right? And he sat there. Everyone in that room are not like councillors. They are not elected member of any council. But yeah, as the thugs did carry out the impeachment, it was actually thugs, unelected thugs, that carried out impeachment of elected council officials. Watch this.
As the new leader of the legislative arm, having gotten the majority votes of the House, Dr. Eric Iyobosayende and Honorable Mrs. Osamuyi Dehe is hereby impeached as chairman and vice chairman of the local government council.
The good people of those states, Nigerians, the Oba of Benin, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Tinubu, Edo State Governor, Inspector General of Police, please come to my rescue. This morning, I went to my office to go and deliver chair for somebody who paid for chair yesterday. As I got there, this morning I was bringing it out. Healers packed. 2 healers with thugs, policemen, and civil defense. They came after me, dragging me. They want to bundle me into the vehicle. They asked for my key. I gave them my key. When I gave them my key, they allowed me. They rushed into my shop. Then I have to quickly run through the other side of the road, and I escaped. I was surprised that they said they came this morning to come and bundle me to Oredo Local Government Council to go and impeach the chairman and the vice chairman. And I'm surprised as it got into this level. I have made it clear that I am not that kind of person. I am a man of integrity. As a human rights activist, as somebody who have worked in the NGO all my life, as somebody who have my private business a second address, I cannot mortgage my integrity for this kind of thing. I am not a conventional politician. They should leave me alone. They made away with my vehicles, the properties inside the car, my books, the money they took, and they lock up my shops. So I am appealing to the Oba of Benin, the president, the governor, and all well-meaning Nigeria, all human rights activists. Please, this is the time for you to come out and defend democracy. The president went to court to fight for the autonomy of local government, and the court granted since July 17. I am surprised that the same APC governor who is under the president is now promoting this kind of illegality, and the president is not speaking. Do we really mean well for this country? For us, we mean well for this country. We see how people that have integrity that can object.
Honorable Jima Abdulganiyu, councillor representing the good people of Odwan and deputy leader of Isako West local legislative arm. I'm here to support the press statement made by my able leader, Honorable Abdul Yama, that I will not support the impeachment of our executive chairman, Honorable Marvelous Muizu, and Honorable Benji Ojeto. Thank you.
My name is Honorable Farouk Sule Muhammad. I'm from Ward 6, Jagbe. The majority leader is Isako West. I'm in line with the press release by the leader of
My name is Honorable Kulamu Maiyegun, Chief Isako West, Councillor representing Ward 11. I'm in line with the press release of the leader of Isako West legislative arm. I will not make myself available as a tool to use for impeachment.
Honorable Bonaventure Oloko, the councillor representing Ward 10. I'm supporting my leader for the press release that I will not be used as a tool to impeach my chairman, rather the vice chairman.
I am Honorable